Oh yeah, look at that. I did some research on the map and found a burn from last year right behind me. This is a 2023 fire, and we're over here on the Olympic Peninsula. So I've done a lot of mushroom foraging here on the OP, but I've never gone for morels. It's early April. It's way too soon to find them in the Cascades. So I'm gonna try a low elevation wildfire burn here on the Olympic Peninsula. Let's see if we can find some morels together. I'm only like 5 steps into the hike and I found an edible plant right down here. This guy, don't touch it, but this is stinging nettle, a nutritious and delicious plant, but it does have these little hollow fibers on it that will sting and hurt pretty bad. So you don't want to touch it with your bare skin. Use gloves. So on the way out, if we find a little bit more, because this is just a teeny patch, maybe we'll collect some of that for some morels and stinging nettle. And I did bring butter in a frying pan, so if we find some morels today, we're gonna fry them up right here. So here we are on the edge of where it burned through the underbrush of the clear cut, and then up ahead where it's still in the wooded forest. So I'm gonna cut up right on the edge there so we could do a little bit of looking in the clear cut, but really I'm gonna try to first start over there in the forest. So let's cut up here and we'll cut over. So this was a 2023 fire, and you can see there's already vegetation growing back. Look at this, coming back. Life is coming back. Here's a sure sign of spring. This beautiful wildflower is called the trillium, for the tri. 3 leaves, 3 flower petals. And as it gets a little later in its blossom, it'll start to turn a beautiful pinkish purple, but they start off that bright white color. Okay, I'm right on the line between the clear cut and the forest, and I found another mushroom. Let's check it out together. And there's another one. All right, one of those cup fungi. I think it might be in the Ascomyces family, but I don't know. But anyways, that is a good sign to see that there is some type of fungus here, which means we're kind of at that right temperature and moisture level. So hopefully soon we'll be finding morels. Well, I've made it all the way to the almost other end of the fire, and no morels yet. Lots of the cup fungus, but they're still kind of small, but they're all around. So I feel like it's almost time, but maybe I'm too early. So I'm gonna cut back and walk over new ground, make my way back to the clear cut, and we'll try that area. Let's go. Very steep side hill. Glad I wore my good boots. Check out this fruiting of what I think are the sulfur tufts. They're so brilliantly bright against this burned backdrop. Clusters of them. Take a look. Oh yeah. Look at that. Neon looking color underneath. If I had my black light, I bet these are UV reactive, so they'd really glow under the black light. Very cool. So these are decomposers, and they're decomposing this burned up, what looks like a maple tree. Well, I'm unlucky in morels, but I'm very lucky in fresh, young, stinging nettle. This is a huge patch of it in the perfect age for delicious and nutritious eating. So I'm gonna get some gloves on and pick these guys, because that's something I can take home and eat and is really healthy, delicious, makes a great pesto. That's my favorite way to eat it. So I'm gonna pick these guys. Look at all of it. And then you can see why you want to wear the gloves. Look at these tiny little spikes. They're actually these little hollow hairs that contain an acid that makes it hurt really bad and sting when you touch it. So that's why we're gonna get the gloves. But don't worry, because they break off easy and they cook off easy, so they won't hurt you when you eat it. So I didn't have gloves, so I'm just gonna use my sleeve to cover my hand like this and pick off the tops. All right. It's a nice little haul right there. All right, that should be enough for some pesto. Check it out. I'm gonna see if I can't scope out another couple spots and see if we can find some morels to go with this lovely nettle pesto. You guys, I think hope is restored after miles of scouring and nothing. I think I just spotted my first morel. We have to get closer to verify. But I'm excited because I was getting close to calling it. Oh yeah. Okay, gotta walk slow because there might be other ones. I don't want to step on one. Can you see it yet? Oh, baby. I see a morel. Okay, do you see it yet? Okay, let's get closer. A little bit closer. How about now? There it is. Okay, and we're under a cedar tree on the edge of a clear cut. So I'm excited. Gonna look a little deeper in here, but this is the very first burn morel of spring 2024. So I turned the camera off to take a photo of this lovely morel, the first one. And while I was sitting here having a sip of water, I spotted another one right down there. Let's cut this morel together here. There it is. Beautiful burn morel. First one. First morel, we are on the board. Thrilled to pieces. Let's pick this other one that I saw. Look at that. All right, what else do we see? I don't see anything else from where I'm sitting, so we're gonna stand up and really go slow in this area because we're in the zone. Pick up our knife. A link to this knife will be in the description of the video if you want that. We're in transit mode again. Slow transit. Okay, keep walking around. That was the area where we found the two, so I'm circling back over there. I almost stepped on these ones. Look at that. Little itty bitties. But then look at this big one right there. And some medium-sized ones. Wow, and more and more. And more and more. Right alongside these giant cup fungi. Oh, this is exciting. Look at that. Look at that. Just look at it. So I can tell I've been marching around for a while now. And it's early in the season here. So we're sub 1,000 feet. So it's still low elevation. But they are kind of on the edge. Not exactly on the edge, because then I think they'd get scorched. But where the soil can warm up enough, but there's still moisture, is the habitat I'm finding them in right now. So let's go ahead and pick these guys. There's one. They're hiding under these maple leaves, the little ones. So, and we'll leave the teeny tiny ones, of course. Look at that big one. Let's start with the big one. Wow. Fantastic. That is beautiful. Put it in our basket to join the other two. Let's get these little guys. Most of these are just too little for me to pick yet. So, have to wait for them to grow. That one's okay. We'll get that one. That one's alright. Early season morels. Even a bunch of them here. Even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice little honey hole right here. That is exciting to find. Let's take a look around and see if we can't find if there's some bigger ones. It's like you could be looking for a long time and start to get discouraged, and then all of a sudden you find a big honey hole of them. I see some baby morels in there. All right, let me bring the camera, see if we can get up close. Oh, look at that. Where those insects are flying. Look at those. Right there. I don't see any big ones. All right, we'll keep exploring. Morels are so sneaky. Just where I thought I was like, okay, I'm learning the habitat that they're in, looking for the, like, you know, root holes or whatever where the cedars are, and then boom, look at this giant one just in plain sight. Look at the size of this. Massive. Mushroom knife with the brush on there. Wow. Glorious. Massive. Oh, I think I might see another one. Oh yeah. Oh, I see a couple. I see a couple over here. Okay, gotta go slow. Don't want to step on anything else. Yeah. Oh, whole bunch. Look at this. Oh boy, look at that. Right there. That's the one that I saw. Oh, there's some bugs on it. Look at a few more. Oh man. Oh, this is exciting. Super exciting. Okay, I definitely in the zone now. This is awesome. I can't believe it too. It's literally like the first week of April. And we're already finding burn morels. I don't know if you can pick up the sound coming through the audio of a grouse, but it's going like whoo, 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 whoo. So it's pretty awesome to hear it. I haven't seen them yet, but they camouflage pretty well. They're off in the trees. There it was. Did you hear that? That was the grouse. I think it's somewhere up in these trees. Pretty sure I'm walking on a dug fire line right now, which the fire crews will dig so that it gets down to mineral soil, nothing left for the fire to burn, and that way it'll stop the fire. Had a dry spell for a minute, but found another one. Let's get there. Get up to it. Okay, hiding in the branches. Look at that. Little beauty. Let's see if anybody else is around. Oh, this one's so big it blew its top. Yeah. Well, leave this one for the bugs. Made it back to the car and I am hungry, so let's cook up. Looks like we got about a dozen of them, so we'll just pick a few and some stinging nettle. Let's go ahead and cook them up with some butter. Fry them up. Okay, got my little cook kit, and this charred stump looks like the perfect table. We've got our morels we're gonna fry up and some stinging nettle. Got to be careful not to touch it. You can see all his little spines on there. So let's cut this guy in half so you can see. Look at that. So it's hollow on the inside. Verpas, which is a similar mushroom but different, is pithy on the inside. So not too buggy. Little spot right there. So we'll just saute them just like that. So we'll cut these guys up. Smelling good already. While these guys are cooking, a couple observations of the day. Almost didn't find them, and then I went to a totally different side of the burn and kept looking for a long time, and then I started to find them. So a couple observations are, when you're ready to give up, give it a little longer, go to a different spot, keep going, you never know. And I also think we're a little early for this particular fire. I think we're just on the cusp. It's starting, but I think in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be even better. But then after that, I don't think it's going to go for more than like 3 weeks or something here, depending on the weather, because this burn is in a pretty like short elevation range. And so the fires that have a lot more higher, lower to higher elevation range, you're going to be able to pick in those burns for a lot longer in the season, because as the year progresses, you can go higher and higher in elevation. This one kind of has a cap. So anyways, this has been fun here on the Olympic Peninsula, and I think it's time to flip the morels. So this is dry sauteing. Haven't added any butter yet. Ooh, getting a little burnt on that one. But we're about to add the butter. This way they get a little crispier when you let them release their moisture first. Yeah, here's our butter. Look at that. Go ahead and get off a nice hunk. And it is extremely important that you always cook your morels before eating, because if you don't, it's poisonous. And there was it's big in the news recently. This actually happened last year, that a restaurant in Montana served people raw morels, and 2 people died from it. A lot of people got sick, and it's because they were raw. So it is very important that you cook the morels, because the heat cooks off the toxic, it's kind of like similar to rocket fuel, from what I've been told, is a property that's in the morels. But it cooks off, so make sure you cook your morels. Nice and buttery. Okay. Another minute, and then we're gonna add the stinging nettles. Ideally, you would take the leaves off of the stem, but because I don't have gloves or a lot of cooking utensils, I'm just gonna throw them in their stem and all, and probably just eat the leaves though. Let's add a little bit of salt to the mushrooms. And now, let's add the stinging nettle. Give it a quick steam. Okay, it's been about a minute. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's give it a stir. Oh yeah, let that stinging nettle get nice and buttery. Oh yeah, look at that. I think that is ready. Turning the heat off. Okay guys, I think it's cooled off a little bit. Let's taste it. I am hungry and excited. All right, let's go in for one of these. Ooh, that crispy morel. Look at that. Oh my God. The morel is my favorite mushroom. It's just got this nutty texture and flavor. It's so rich and delicious, and with butter and salt, that's all you need. It's so good. Okay, let's do some stinging nettle with the stem. Oh my God, that's great. Yum. Doesn't sting you at all now that it's cooked, and that is so good. Can't wait to eat more of that. Yum. These actually pair really well together. It's like, I don't know, it has its own flavor. It also kind of has a like nutty flavor to it. Not quite like kale, not quite like spinach, but similar. That's delicious. So I'm just gonna mac down on these. I hope you get to experience this. If you're not able to get out and get morels for whatever reason, or they're not in your area, I hope you can buy some at the store or something, or from a friend, because you've got to try these. They're delicious. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody watching, hanging out with me on these episodes and these adventures. They're so much fun, and I appreciate you guys joining in. I put videos out every Wednesday, and I'm gonna dabble some live streams in there too now and then. So thank you for clicking like, clicking subscribe. Hats and shirts are coming soon. Updates to follow. All right, guys. See you on the next video.